At the start of the story, we meet a boy named Oscar, who is 15 years old. Usually, guys that age are interested in girls, but Oscar is totally different from other boys. He's way more mature and influenced by French literature, especially the ideas of Socrates and Rousseau. Oscar is really handsome and smart, and he speaks French too. He goes to a boarding school where he's quite popular among the girls. Every girl wants to make him their boyfriend, but he's not interested in girls his own age. He thinks they are immature. Oscar's boarding school has a few days off for Thanksgiving, so all the students are heading home by train. Oscar's on the train with his best friend, chatting away. Then a pretty girl from the same boarding school comes over. She likes Oscar and wants to go on a date with him, but Oscar gently turns her down. Seeing this, Oscar's friend says, "She's the most beautiful girl. The whole boys' boarding school likes her. Guys are crazy about her, and you turned her down." Oscar tells his friend that he likes older women who are wise and mature. He says he's in love with a woman and is planning to win her heart during Thanksgiving. After that, Oscar gets off the train, grabs a taxi with his friend, and then they both head to their own homes. When Oscar gets home, his dad is really happy to see him. Actually, Oscar's mum passed away a few years ago. Oscar's dad had remarried a woman named Eve so that his stepmom could take care of him. Oscar's dad is a university professor, and Eve is a heart specialist, a cardiologist. One night, to celebrate Oscar's coming home, his dad throws a party with a bunch of guests. Oscar's dad introduces him to a girl his age, but Oscar isn't interested at all. He just keeps looking at his stepmom, Eve. Actually, the woman Oscar was telling his friend he's in love with is none other than her. Actually, Eve is his stepmom. Eve is a smart, mature, and independent woman. After Oscar's mom passed away, his dad married Eve, and that's when she started taking care of Oscar. During that time, Oscar fell in love with her, but then he went off to boarding school. Still, he hasn't been able to forget her. What Oscar wants is socially wrong, but he listens to his heart. He sees beauty in everything about Eve, her way of walking, the things she says, her wisdom. Oscar starts seeing her as an ideal, perfect woman, kind of like how he imagined someone. I had read about it in books, but Eve had no idea about it at all. Here, Oscar tries to be open and honest with Eve, but clueless Eve can't understand any of his moves. At the party, Oscar meets Eve's best friend, Diana. She's a modern woman who loves living life freely. She works as a massage therapist. After that, Oscar's dad asks him to drop Diana home, even though Oscar isn't interested in her. Oscar doesn't want to take her home, but has to listen to his dad. You have to go when asked. Oscar goes out with the girl to catch a cab and drop her off. The girl tells Oscar she wants to go on a date with him, but Oscar says there's a big difference between them. His mindset is completely different, so he can't go on a date with her. Then Oscar puts the girl in a taxi and sends her home. He couldn't tell Eve what's in his heart, which makes him really sad. To forget his pain, he wants to go to a bar for a drink, but he's not old enough to get in. He's underage, so he sneaks into the bar using a fake ID and starts drinking. Oscar drinks way too much and then stumbles out of the bar. On the way, he's staggering around all drunk when he bumps into Diana. Seeing how drunk he is, Diana knows if he goes home like this, his dad's gonna be really mad. So she takes him back to her apartment. Oscar is super tired and just crashes on the bed. Diana says, "You need a massage." She says she needs help and tells him to take off his clothes. Then she gives Oscar a massage. Oscar is drunk and gets carried away seeing Diana. Diana, seeing Oscar shirtless, can't control herself either, and they get really close. The next morning, when Oscar wakes up, he sees Diana sleeping next to him. He feels terrible about last night and thinks he made a huge mistake. Without saying a word, Oscar quietly gets dressed and tries to leave. But then, he sees Diana's boyfriend in the other room. He gets really scared, but Diana's boyfriend thinks Oscar just came for a massage. Then Diana shows up too, acting like Oscar really was there just for the massage. Later, when Oscar gets home, his dad asks him where he was last night. Oscar lies and says he was with a girl from his boarding school. Oscar finds out that Eve has already left for work. He can't hide his feelings for Eve anymore and looks for a chance to talk to her and tell her how he feels. Oscar plans to surprise Eve. Oscar plans to take lunch with her so he can talk to her alone. He starts packing lunch for Eve. Seeing this, his father feels really happy. Oscar's dad is a simple man who doesn't really understand his son's true feelings. After that, Oscar takes the lunch to Eve at the clinic where she works. Eve gets really happy to see Oscar and thinks, "My son is so wonderful." Eve is a tough doctor, and Oscar asks her some questions about the heart. He asks about love. Why is the heart symbol? They were just talking like that. Then Eve gets a call from Diana. After talking, Eve tells Oscar that tonight, the three of them, her, Oscar, and his dad, are going out for dinner, and Diana is coming along too. Hearing this, Oscar gets nervous. He's scared that Diana might tell Eve that they slept together. So, Oscar goes to Diana's place to talk to her, but she's not there. Her boyfriend tells Oscar that Diana went to a restaurant with some friends. Oscar shows up at the restaurant where Diana is sitting with her friends, having coffee. Oscar tries to talk to Diana alone, but her friends ask him to sit down and start chatting with him. After talking to Oscar, all of Diana's friends get really impressed and begin flirting with him. A little while later, Diana's friends leave. Then Oscar tells Diana to forget whatever happened between them and not to tell anyone about it, especially Eve. Diana says, "Don't worry, whatever happened between us stays between us. No one will find out about it." She wants things to just stay the same between her and Oscar, because Diana is starting to feel that maybe Oscar has a depth she's never seen in any of her past relationships. She begins to feel an emotional connection with Oscar and wishes he would spend a little more time with her. But Oscar refuses and leaves. Now Oscar gets stuck in a deep mental struggle. He wants to shake Diana off his trail and tell Eve how he really feels. So Oscar goes to his best friend's place, and he tells the truth that the woman he loves is Eve. Hearing this, his friend is shocked. Oscar also says that he slept with Diana while he was drunk, but now he wants to get rid of her following him. Hearing this, his friend advises him that all this is wrong. You should forget about Eve. But Oscar doesn't listen to his friend. He sees Eve not like a mother, but as an ideal woman he always wants to be with. That night, Oscar gets ready and goes to a hotel for dinner with his family and Diana. Sitting at the table, they all have drinks first. But Diana starts drinking way too much and begins flirting with Oscar in French. Eve and her husband don't know French, so they don't understand a thing. Oscar tries to stop Diana from saying stuff like that and from drinking even more, but she doesn't listen. Oscar is really scared that Diana might accidentally reveal they slept together, so he tries to keep her quiet. Seeing Oscar act like this, his dad and Eve find it weird. When Diana goes to the bathroom, Oscar follows her. He stops her and says what she's doing is wrong, but Diana starts forcing herself on Oscar. Just then, Oscar's dad sees them both. When they come back, his dad asks, "Are you two hiding something from us?" Diana says, "We love each other." Hearing this, Oscar's dad and Eve are shocked and say, "This relationship is wrong. There's a big age gap between you two. This shouldn't be happening." Later that night, when Oscar's dad is busy working, Eve comes over and gets close to him. Eve wants to, but he says he still has work to do. So, Eve leaves from there. Oscar secretly watches all this. The next day, Eve meets Diana. Eve tells Diana that she shouldn't have a relationship with Oscar. There's a big age gap between you two. It's all wrong. But Diana says she finds Oscar attractive. She really likes the way he behaves and talks. Diana adds that if it were any other woman in her place, she would probably do the same, and maybe you would too. After that, Eve and Oscar play tennis. But when Oscar gets hit on the head with the ball, they both go back home. Then Eve sits Oscar down and asks him, "Why did you get involved with Diana? This whole thing is wrong." Oscar says, "I just slept with her once. There's nothing between us." He goes on to explain, "I was drunk, and Diana was wearing your scarf, which reminded me of you, so I ended up in bed with her." Oscar says, "I love you, Eve." Hearing this, Eve is surprised. She doesn't scold him, but instead explains, "At your age, you need to understand what difference between love and attraction is. What you're feeling is just a temporary attraction that you're mistaking for love. You've got a lot to learn. With life experiences, you'll come to understand what true love really is. When Eve rejects Oscar's feelings, he doesn't break down. Instead, he starts to understand himself. He realizes that his love was just an illusion, an ideal he saw in Eve. After that, he tries to forget Eve and even distances himself from Diana. At first, he thought about being with Diana. His relationship was a mistake. But later, he realizes that not everything in life is under our control. Sometimes, mistakes turn into experiences. Oscar was mentally mature, but he didn't have an older brother or a mentor he could open up to and who could guide him the right way. Diana also saw Oscar as a man, which confused him even more. A few days later, Oscar's board school holidays end, and his father and Eve come to drop him off at the railway station. When his father goes to buy the ticket, Oscar apologizes to Eve and admits he got carried away with his emotions. After that, Oscar gets on the train and sits down with his friend. Just then, he bumps into the same girl who liked him and had come to talk to him at the start of the story. "Thanks, Oscar," she says. The girl tells Oscar a code quote from Socrates: "If we don't find something good, we'll definitely find something new." Oscar looks at her with loving eyes, and now he's learned way to connect with people. Oscar's friend asks him about Eve. Oscar says, "My feelings for Eve was just a passion, and that wasn't as important as I used to think." As the story progresses, Oscar smiles softly, and that's where it ends. Thanks a lot for watching the video till the end, friends. If you liked the video, please like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming movie explanations. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.